This crosstab contains some states over here and 4 quarters up here, and maybe you'd like to do some calculations based on these rows and columns. So in here in calculations, we got some predefined calculations, all of these. And if you want to try one of these, like the total here, you're simply just clicking and it'll be added down here. Now notice this is the same as a standard total on top there, so maybe that's not so useful. So you can also remove it again. Let's try one of the other ones, like the difference calculation. It goes in as a calculated column here. And I know this one is predefined to be the difference between the last two columns, Q4 and Q3. So coming from 2.08 to 2.15 millions is an increase in 72,000. Let's try another one, like the growth percent. The growth percent is similar to the difference calculations. It's also a difference between the last two columns, but expressed as a growth, either negative or positive percent, as you see it here. Now, let's keep this growth calculation. We try to add the difference calculation again. You can see you can have multiple calculations. This one will still be based on the difference between the last two quarters. Let's get rid of those two and let's try something else. The percentage calculations is a little different because you can see it's being inserted for each of my quarters and for the total here as well. If I click this calculation, you can see it's maybe a rather complex calculation, but never mind that. What I want to do here is to just change the title, just percentage, just in order so that I can see it for all 4 quarters. Now, the way this one works, South Carolina is responsible for less than 1% of the total revenue in Q1, but responsible for almost 16% in Q4. So that's what the percentage calculation is about. Now, let's try one last one here, the average calculation. So we're looking at the average for each of my states here across those 4 quarters. So South Carolina, the average of about 1 million. Now notice here, if I click the calculation here, I also have this option like move the average to the other axis. And when I do that, it's being moved from a column calculation to a row calculation. So now we got the averages per each quarter.